Okay, for this project we're going to be designing an Aboriginal style musical instrument. It's called a rain stick. This instrument was traditionally made out of a long branch from a tree, and the inside of the branch was gone because it had been eaten by termites. And so you had this long hollow branch, and that's what the people would turn into this really cool musical instrument. And usually inside would be something small like little rocks or seeds or rice. And then when you turn the musical instrument, it makes it sound like rain. And so the Aboriginal people would use these in different ceremonies, during different dances to try to get the clouds to rain. So we're going to be making our own version of that today. And what you are going to need is a paper towel tube like this. This is going to be sort of like our long hollow branch. You will need your brown paper like this, some aluminum foil, some wax paper, a couple rubber bands, something to draw with. In your kit you have this container of rice, and then you'll also need a glue stick and some scissors. If you want to grab this page, it is on the back of the instructions that are in your kit. This will be really handy for when you design your artwork that's going to go on the outside of your rain stick. So gather up all your supplies and find you a nice space to work, and we'll get started. Okay, for this first step, you're going to need your brown paper and this page that's on the back of your directions, and then just something to color with. I'm using crayons, but markers would work fine. And then with this paper, we're going to create the art that's going to go on the outside of your rain stick. So the really cool thing about Aboriginal art is that it usually told stories with just pictures. So some of the art we can look at and we can kind of read the story just by looking at the pictures. Like for example, this one here on the edge of your page here shows these symbols that are kind of circles. There's a few circles, and then it has these little U shapes around there. That symbol there would be, here's our circle, maybe a campsite or a campfire or a watering hole, someplace that people would meet, and then those U shapes are the people meeting around it. Okay, oh, look right here, people sitting around a fire. So that's probably what that was. Okay, then shapes like, let's see, oh, look at this one. Here's our little meeting place in the middle there. We've got some people, but then they have a straight line next to them. And that would be a person with a spear. So maybe some people that were getting ready to go hunting. Okay. Anytime you see like a circle and then a line going away from it, like in this one or this one, that means people were there for a few days. So you can see the number of days with the number of circles, and then they traveled and went to another place. Okay, so what you're going to do is use this page to create a story out of pictures. Okay, so maybe let's see, how should we start? Let's have ourselves a little meeting place, maybe a little campfire. Okay, and my people are gonna hang out here for 1, 2, 3 days. Okay, let's get our people in here. All right, so here's my people hanging out. We've been there for about 3 days. And then let's see what happens. Then, ooh, how about this? Then along came a big snake. So here's our symbol for a snake. Let's get that in our story here. Okay, so here comes this big, huge snake, and people are like, no thanks, I want out of here. So they leave. Again, we're gonna draw our, to show that they are traveling, we're gonna draw some straight lines like this. And now we're at a new place. Okay, let's see, how long should they stay here? How about 2 days? Okay, let's get our people in. And now our people, after they saw that snake, they've got their spears with them. Okay, because they don't want to get surprised by any big animals anymore. All right, so this time they're hanging out, they're ready, they've got their spears, and what happens next? How about some rain comes? So here's our symbol for rain. Just kind of like some lines and with little raindrop circles in between. Okay, so some rain came, made a whole bunch of water. Maybe it flooded. Okay, so they decide to leave again. Okay, here we are at our next place, hanging out for a couple days. Okay, so you guys get the idea. You're gonna use this page here to look at all these different symbols. You know, there's ones for animals and plants. There's, oh look, footprints to show different animals. Maybe a kangaroo comes along. Here's our symbol for kangaroo prints. Maybe here a kangaroo comes along. Okay, use these symbols to create your story. Here's our symbols for people. We've got tools and weapons. Maybe somebody uses a boomerang or they do some digging. Okay, different places. So tell us a story. This is a really cool thing about Aboriginal art, is that it's stories using just pictures, no words, just pictures. So really take your time with this and fill up this whole page with really colorful symbols and designs. If you would like, and if you have paint left over, once you're done with your storytelling and you have all your symbols in there, if you have blank spaces in between some of your symbols, you can go back in with your leftover extra paint and put some dot art in there if you would like, just in between. Okay, so take your time, be creative. I want to see a really cool story, and then fill up this whole page. Okay, when your design is all finished, and if you use paint when it's all dry, you are ready for the next step. We're gonna add it to our paper towel roll here. So what you need to do is flip your design over. I have some designs on the back, but yours might be blank. But you are going to take your glue stick and along one of the long edges, add some glue. Okay, just along one long edge. Okay, and you need it pretty good, so go back and forth a couple times there. Okay, and once you have the glue on, you're going to take your tube and start on the other edge, the other long edge, so the one without the glue. So my sticky glue is over here. I'm going to start on this edge without the glue, and you're going to put your tube there and pick up the paper and just roll it. You want it to be pretty straight. Roll, 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 and try to keep it kind of tight. And roll it until the glue edge overlaps, and then you'll just smush that glue down to kind of rub it a few times to make sure that it sticks. Give it a, hold it, you can put your fingers inside and hold it and give it a good squeeze until that sticks. For step 3, you're going to need this big piece of aluminum foil. If you have one in your kit that's all folded up, go ahead and unfold it so you have one long piece of aluminum foil. Okay. Now what you're going to do with this, take the edges and squish it together all the way down to make you like a big long snake. And then go ahead and go back and do it again and give it a nice tight squeeze so it's a long, skinny snake. Okay, you want it pretty skinny. Squeeze it as tight as you can. Try to make it as small, skinny as you can. Once you have this long, skinny snake, you're going to need to find maybe a marker or something about this size to wrap it around. So what you'll do is you'll start at one edge here and kind of hold it maybe with your thumb, and then the rest of this is going to wrap around and around. We're going to coil this up. Okay? Now notice as I'm wrapping, it's going right next to where I went before, okay? I'm not going on top, okay? It goes right next to it. You can go all the way down. And if you run out of marker, that's okay. Just give this part a squeeze, and then you can kind of pull the marker out and keep going. So what we're doing here is creating kind of a spring, a coil that's going to go right down the middle of our tube here. Okay, so this is going to go inside here, and that's going to give our rice something to kind of clink, clink, clink down as it falls down through the tube. Okay, so get yourself a nice coil shape here. Okay, it needs to be about that size. Okay, you can pull it apart just a little bit. Don't stretch it all the way out, but you can pull it just a little bit so it's about the same length as the tube. It can be a little bit shorter, that's fine. Okay, and now for the next step, we're just gonna twist this into here, okay? Sometimes it goes right in, sometimes you kind of have to twist it and squish it a little bit, okay? And once you get it in, you're gonna take the end here and just kind of fold it over the edge of your tube there, so you can see that. So it gives it something to hold on to, okay? And then you're gonna go, hopefully you can see your coil coming through here. You're gonna try to grab it with your fingers. You might have to get like a marker or something to help you pull it through. But grab that other end, give it a little pull so it sticks out a little bit, and then do the same thing on this end. Take the tip of your foil and kind of fold it over the edge of your tube, like that. Okay, so that way our foil is kind of grabbing on both ends. Okay, next up you need your wax paper. Go ahead and grab that. And it should be folded. You'll just need to cut on that line there. One for each end, so cut them apart. And then what you're gonna do here is you are going to put your wax paper on one end and just kind of squish it around like that. And then take a rubber band and wrap it around a couple times so it stays on there nice and tight. Next up, you're gonna need your little container of rice. Be careful when you open it so it doesn't spill everywhere. Okay, so we have one end of our rain stick closed up. The other end is still open. So all you need to do is carefully pour your rice in there, and you can hear that rain sound starting already. Awesome. Okay. Once your rice is in, you're going to take your other piece of wax paper and do the same thing. Put it on the end, kind of squish and fold it around, and secure it with a rubber band. Now you have created your rain stick. And the way to play this is just lift it up and let that rice shake down. Okay. And if you turn it slowly, that rice slowly goes down. It sounds like just a gentle rainstorm. If you turn it fast, sometimes the rice falls really fast and it sounds like a loud storm. Okay, up to you. You can play and experiment and learn how to make different sounds with it, and use this rain stick to add sound effects to your story. Here's my rain symbol. So maybe as I'm telling the story, and then when the rain comes, I can use my rain stick to add some sound effects. Hope you enjoyed this project. It was really fun making it with you today.